Hello everybody, it's Peps and I'm here for round 10, tipped out style, my tips, J-Dog's tips for a huge round of AFL football. Just a small pat on the back to myself, giving you 8 out of 9 tips last week. What a superstar effort by myself, hoping to go one better. J-Dog was absolutely shocking, and based on what he sent me tonight, I'm tipping he's not going to go too much better. But you know what, who wants to go a little bit better? It's Sydney and it's Carlton. It's tomorrow night. It's all kicking off Friday, the 20th of May at Marvel Stadium. This, in my humble opinion, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the game of the week. Two teams sitting pretty in the top 8, both clamouring for a top 4 spot. We're looking at Carlton versus Sydney at Marvel Stadium. The Carlton Blues have been playing sensational footy this year, and the Swans have been up and down like a yo-yo, and they're hoping to get a little bit of movement at the fast track that will be Marvel Stadium. Like I said, Friday the 20th of May, 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Let's have a look at the ins. Let's have a look at the outs. Alrighty. So, looking at for the Carlton Blues, Lewis Young and Stocker are back in. Out, Brody Kemp omitted, Jack Nunes managed, and Zach Williams, who we thought had done a Achilles tendon, is just out with a high calf tear. Will be out for a number of weeks, though. In for the Swans, Colin O'Riordan is back. James Rowbottom suspended. An accidental clash. I can understand they think he might have run past the ball. There was a bit, it's a football act. Nothing malice in it compared to good old Tommy Lynch throwing elbows. And also having a look into the team is Ryan Clark as a medical sub. He is out as well. Dan Rampy plays his 200th game for the Swans. Now, Carlton have been, like we said, brilliant this year. You cannot fault them whatsoever. They've taken everybody in front of them. Sam Doherty's been magnificent this year, averaging 28 disposals. Sam Walsh on 31. Cripsy, how about this? 28, almost 29 disposals and close to 2 goals a game. Georgie Hewitt, 30 disposals. And Kennedy is having his best season in life at averaging 25. Callum Mills, he'll be looking for more Brownlow votes. I wouldn't be surprised if he's leading it at this particular stage going into round 10, averaging close to 27. Jake Lloyd doing his thing. Parker, the old Parker disco move, he's averaging around about 23. And Laddams, the ruckman, who came across from Port Adelaide, geez, he's thinking, how good is this? Averaging around about 17 and a half disposals a game. But I'm going with the Blues to take this one out. Yes, round of applause for the Blues. They will take this game out simply because they don't want to lose. They don't need to lose and they don't want to lose at Marvel Stadium. They've just got too much to play for. They want to slot in that top 4 spot. They know that they can get it, and a win over the Swans tomorrow night will not just set up a blistering second half of the season, but more importantly, the chance to get back those finals tickets and maybe putting a little bit of misery into the Swans. So I'm going with the Blues. The J-Dog, he's decided to also have a crack and go for the Blues. I'm going by 4 goals. J-Dog is actually incorrect, Peps. He's gone by the Swans by 10 points. There we go. Already 1 round in and we're already punching on about it. Just like Tuesday night, but it's tipped out action because how you want your tips each week. Peps and J-Dog style. Western Bulldogs versus the Gold Coast Suns on Saturday, 1:45 p.m. at their traditional hunting, fighting ground of Mars Stadium in Ballarat. Looking at the teams for this one, we have got the Doggies making a single change. Tim O'Brien is in. Rourke Smith is out. Taylor Duray is out with illness. Adam Treloar playing his 200th game. Congratulations, Treloar. Lawsy, Adzi, whatever you want to call him, 200 games, 3 clubs. Got shafted from the Pies and is probably loving his time at the Doggies. Darcy McPherson has been omitted for the Suns, so not much of a change there. Gold Coast, what can you not say about this mob? They were sensational last week against Freo. The week before, they smashed Sydney at their home ground, and I'm going for an upset here. I don't think it is an upset because I think the Gold Coast are going to take another massive scalp and put a halt on the Bulldogs' charge for the finals. I tipped it a couple of weeks ago when I picked Adelaide to beat the Doggies down there, and I'm telling you now, the Gold Coast Suns are going to beat the Doggies. J-Dog has actually gone the Dogs by 27. I think it'll be a lot closer than that. I'm picking under a goal. That's what the type it is. Weather always is going to be down there at Ballarat. Bring your thermals. More importantly, bring your anti-frostbite serum. You're going to need it because it is going to be chilly willy down there. It's also going to be down at the GMHBA Stadium on 1:45 p.m. Why do they play two games at the same time? The AFL just cannot get shit right, can they? It's going to be Geelong versus Port Adelaide. Now, if you think this is going to be a danger game, I don't know who for. Port Adelaide have won their last four. Geelong have been up and down, like I said, a little bit yo-yo-like. They're looking to get solidify another spot. They haven't been too crash hot this year. Haven't been convinced whatsoever. Oh, hide the ladies, misses, because Gary Rowan is in. Jed Hughes is in as well too for the Geelong Cats. Cooper Stevens out. Graham Myers has been managed, and Mitch Knevitt has been omitted. In for Port Adelaide, Jonas and Trent Dumont are in. No sign at this particular stage of seeing big Charlie Dixon. I reckon he is going to be saving himself for a team that is not in the top 8. We know that record. Martin Frederick out. Radio Fantasia omitted. And Xavier Dersma has also been omitted. So Kenny been throwing the axe a little bit around. We like to see that, Kenny. Hey, I'm going with Geelong simply because it is down at Geelong. They know how to play that ground, obviously better than anybody. It's not a great hunting ground. It's going to be cold down there. Port Adelaide don't show up when it's cold. And they're just going to win it quite easily. I'm going by 5 goals, Geelong. And the old, my friend, big fella, has gone Port by 8 points. So you know what? He doesn't want Kenny to be coaching, but he's hoping that his power are going to strike down and get a Geelong blackout by 8 points. I'll tell you where there won't be a blackout, ladies and gentlemen, and it will be at Marvel Stadium at 4:35 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, this will be a game that I reckon just go for a walk. Take the Luffley out, just spend some time together, go to the movies, maybe go for a nice dinner, maybe go get a buffet, do something, but just don't watch this game on TV. North Melbourne versus Melbourne. This will be nothing but a percentage booster for the D's. I'm not even going to spend much time on it. Melbourne will win. I'm going to say they beat West Coast by 74 last week, and that was the worst 74-point win I've ever seen. So I'm going by 90. And the J-Dog is going by 67. So we're just going to move on straight away to the Adelaide versus St Kilda game. Now, that's at the Adelaide Oval, 21st of May, 7 p.m. as well. Australian something standard time, so it must be Adelaide time. Adelaide, they started on well. The last couple of weeks have been a bit dodgy. And, how good were St Kilda last week? They've got so much to play for, so much to look in for. They're going to win this game quite easily, I reckon. I just think Adelaide, they've been off their game a little bit, and they can't afford to piss fart around. And I think after what St Kilda did last week, they're going to be way too strong. Having a look at the teams, Lockie Murphy and Rolly Thilthorpe is back in. God, I hate that name. I've got a lisp. The Himmelberg has been omitted, Lockie Scholl omitted, and Luke Pedler is also out. Nazaya Wangareen Malera is in for the Saints. Jack O'Higgins, poor bloke, he can't take a trick, can he? And Jack Steele, both absolute guns so far this year, are out. Brad Hill plays his 200th game for the Swans, and I'm saying the Swans are going to win that one. Swans. The Saints are going to win that one. I reckon by 3.5 goals. So I think they'll win. It'll be one of those comfortable wins where they'll be in front from virtually all the evening. J-Dog is also going for the Saints by 21 as well. Probably the main game for the Sir Doug Nicholls Indigenous round is Dream Time at the G. The Tigers versus Essendon. This is the game to tune in for. If you haven't had a look at the Indigenous jumpers this year, they are remarkable, except for West Coast, who have gone through the recycle bin and decided to pull these out from a number of years ago. Again, which doesn't surprise me because they're just dialing it in at the moment. But definitely at the MCG, 7:30 p.m, it is going to be a corker of a game. The J-Dog has gone by Richmond by 40, and I think it's going to be a similar margin as well. Just Essendon, they've had the week from hell, and they're going to have the weekend from hell. Josh Gibkiss, Robbie Tarrant, 2 big ins for the Tigers. Bjorn Yun is out. Marlon Pickett suspended for a bump. My goodness. And Noah Bolter injured. Devon Smith is in. Jai Caldwell out. Tom Cutler omitted for Devon Smith, mate. You are hard done by. They've got to show some grunt. They've got to show some ticker this week, Essendon, because they have not showed it for weeks. And if they don't decide to do something quick, there's going to be players who are going to be playing their last season for the club and a coach who potentially may be coaching his last season at the club after only 2 years. Something has to change down there at Essendon. Xavier Campbell has signed on again, so that's not going to change. If they keep Adrian Jadoro, they're just going to keep going to the well again, and they're going to be getting the same results, the same players. A change needs to be made either on or off the field. The players need to stand up for their coach, and that coach needs to be more grunty with these blokes, but it's not going to happen this week. Tigers are on a bit of a roar, and they're going to win this game quite easily, like I said. All right, let's head into the Sunday games. Oh, it's the battle of the teams we don't really care about, GWS and the West Coast Eagles. Now, can I just say, having a look at this game, let me just take you through the ins for both teams. Just listen, this is going to take a couple of minutes. In for the GWS, Jacob Werr, Jake Stein, James Pleatering, Jared Brander, Jesse Hogan, Josh Fahey. The first 6 people had a J in their name. Matt Flynn, Tanner Brun, and Zach Sproul. Out. Connor Stone. Cooper Hamilton, omitted. Finn Callahan, injured. Lockie Whitfield, injured. Lockie Keefe, omitted. Nick Haynes is out with illness. Well done to Josh Fry and Jacob Ware for their first games in the orange and grey. Andrew Gaff, Brady Hoare, Jack Williams, Luke Shuey, Rhett Bazzo, and Zane True all in for West Coast. Jamie Cripps out with illness. Liam Ryan suspended. What a joke. He should have got at least 3 for picking on little Jakey Bowie. And Luke Fay as well too. It's at GWS. It's going to be up in Giant Stadium. It's West Coast. One of the hardest road trips from going west side to east side. It's GWS by 58 points. J-Dog has decided to go the Giants by 19 points. I'm saying it's going to be big. He's saying it's going to be small. But all we know is GWS are going to take them all. Alrighty. Hawthorn Brisbane at Utah Stadium. 3:20 p.m. on Sunday. J-Dog has gone a massive margin of 70 points for this game. And it might be because what's happening with the ins. Have a look at this. For the Hawks, CJ. I'm just going to say it's CJ because it's a lot easier to pronounce. CJ is in. Daniel Hale's in. Jackson Callow's in. Kyle Hartigan in. Liam Shields is in. Ned Long and Tom Mitchell all in. Connor McDonald out. Finn McGuinness out. Jack Gunston out. And James Warple has been omitted as well as Finn McGuinness being omitted. He did a massive job a couple of weeks ago on Ed Langdon for the D's and he's now been omitted. That's a bit of a strange one, that one. In for the Lions, have a look at this. Devon Robertson in, Mitch Robinson in, Ryan Lester in, Tom Fullerton in, and Marcus Adams, health and safety protocols. Ned Long playing his first game for the Hawks. If this is going to be a cold game, someone has to have an upset this weekend. Someone is due, and this is the first look at these two teams, and there's just a lot of goodness coming in for the Hawks. The Lions will be sitting pretty, and they tend to, maul people at the Gabatoir, but I'm actually putting my agates on the chopping board this week, and I'm going with the Hawks. I don't know why, but I just like who they're bringing in. CJ and Howe bring a lot to the back line. Tommy Mitchell back in the middle. Shields just exudes class and style, and I just think that they're going to be they will want this. They can see this as a potential scalp, and the Lions have to stammer, and this might be the one where they stagger and unfortunately get beaten. So I'm going with the Hawks. The J-Dog is going with the Lions. And the last game of the weekend could be a bit of a belter. We just don't know what's going to happen. It's more about the team that's travelling to Perth, which is at Optus Stadium. Fremantle versus Collingwood on the 22nd of May, 3:20 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time. So that'll be just around dinner time. So grab yourself some hot dogs, chips, sit on the couch and put your feet up because this will be an interesting one. Fremantle, Lloyd Meek, Tabernar, Walters and Sam Switowski is in. Josh Tracy has been omitted. And in for the Pies, Jack Ginnivan is in. Jamie Elliott in. Mason Cox in. Nathan Murphy, Reef McInnes, Pendles is back, and Trey Rusco out. Aiden Begg, Callum Brown, both omitted. Philly McRae and Jack Madgen have both been out, injured or medi-sub. Some big ins for the Dockers, especially Tabernar and Walters coming in. But I like Ginnivan, Elliott, Cox and Pendlebury. Never thought I'd say that about Cox. I like Cox. But I reckon Fremantle are going to lose to Collingwood. There's my second upset. I don't know, Collingwood are due. They normally travel really well as a team, and they'll want to redeem themselves over a pretty lazy couple of weeks. So I'm going with Fremantle. I'm going with Collingwood by 6 points. So just an even goal. J-Dog, he's put his agates on the line, 46 points for Fremantle, so he reckons it's going to be a bit of a bloodbath. But it wouldn't surprise me if Collingwood win this one, listeners. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But I'll tell you what wouldn't surprise me is you guys just loving what we do with Tipped Out. J-Dog says, good luck to everybody there. His tips. He apologises for last week. Hopefully you're going to get something out of today. Listen to old Pepster, mate. I'm telling you now, 8 out of 9 last week. I'm going to go for 9 this week. One thing I want you to all remember is Lace Out will be on Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. live on our Facebook page. Spotify, iTunes, you name it, you'll be able to find it on the podcast where you found us today. More importantly, leave us a review, give us 5 stars, tell everybody about the greatest podcast around AFL football that you love. I'm Peps. Thank you to listening today or tonight. Good luck to all our Lace Outlaws out there. Hope your team wins, and we will see you next week with our review of round 10 on Lace Out and our preview for round 11 with Tipped Out. All the best, and we'll see you next week.